I hope this is clear enough that you can see. It might not help that I'm standing in front of the window. I'm in the shed at the moment. In fact, I think that's worse, so I'll just turn that back around that way. I'm in the shed at the moment, partly because it's very windy outside, and I thought if I recorded this in here, you'd actually be able to hear the first few seconds of the video. It's the, what is the date today? 6th of February, I think. He says trying to look at his watch, which isn't very helpful because I can't actually see that without my glasses on. 6th of February, I think. It's a little after 9 AM. I've just come down with a view to doing a few things. The forecast is for basically rain and wind for the entire weekend, but I think looking at the weather charts, it might just pass us by to the north. So although we probably get the wind, and in fact we definitely have got that, which is why I'm in here recording this rather than out on the plot, I think we might escape the rain. So I thought I might actually be able to get some work done for the first time this year. So we'll see. To that end, this is the first time this year I've come down here with a flask of coffee, which is a good sign, I think. And let's just take you outside. I probably think this will be lots of short clips, loads of crows flying over. That very often means there's a bird of prey about, but I can't see one, so either I've missed that or they're just enjoying the wind, I think. Anyway, two things. Picked up my seed potatoes this morning, 3 kilos of Arran Pilot, £3.40, so just, what's that, £1.13-ish a kilo. I don't know how that compares to what other people are paying. I get mine from our allotment shop, and they buy them in bulk and then just divvy them up as according to how much you want. They're going to go over here, and depending on how I lay other things out, because I think I've said before, going to shift that this year, kind of turn it on 90 degrees and bring it this way a bit, which will be the brassica bed, and then the potatoes will run kind of this way, but it depends on whether that is right up here or more here, but we'll see. I haven't, until I've finished picking the last of the Cavolo Nero in there, I'm not quite sure what I'll do with that. But yeah, spuds are going to go here. I'm going to try and lift this in a moment and dig the weeds that are underneath. I think in my last video I talked about why I put it down, so I won't go into that again, but if I get that done, I'm going to move it to, where is it, over here, or over here, where there's another big patch of weeds, and just try and do that when I can, when the weather's not too bad. Temperature wise, we've been above freezing all week this week. What's that, 1 or 2 at night, and max of about 13, and it's about 8 now, so pretty good temperatures. I'm not sure whether they're going to hold. Typically potatoes are supposed to go in on the Easter weekend. Easter this year is at the end of March, and that just feels early for me. And if that's the case, I think if it is too early, we might end up with a frost early April, and then have problems with the potatoes. So I don't know, we'll see. I'll see how it goes. If it's still nice and mild towards the end of next month, then they might go in. We'll see. Anyway, I want to crack on just in case the weather does start. I'll cut other little bits and pieces in on the end of this as I can, or I'll just upload it as it is. Thanks for watching. Probably should have shown you this just now, but this is my layout. So the shed is basically where I am standing now, because this is taped to the back of the shed door. The brassica cage is going to be here. At the moment it's kind of, well, it's there, so you can kind of see what I want to do there, and then, as I say, potatoes there. But what I might actually do is jiggle things around a bit and bring the potatoes down this end and then run them a bit longer rows. But I think it'll see what I end up with out of the 3 kilos in terms of what we do. And then there's the other crops planned for this year. Purple sprouting broccoli is already in. That was a late sow last year, and those onion sets are in. These onion sets are the ones that at the moment are very wet in the potting shed at home, so we might end up with something else in there in the end if they don't survive. And then other beans, I might move the sweet corn over here if I don't put the onion sets in, because that garlic patch you probably know is quite small, and broad beans there and there are already in. So yeah, that's the layout for this year, or the plan. I've put it here on the back of the shed door, basically so that the camera doesn't want to focus, so that you can see, or I can see rather, what I'm doing, rather than having it tucked away in my notebook and then when I need it I haven't got my notebook on me. So that's the plan. So let's get cracking. Hopefully this will be a quick before shot. So I've just taken the tarp off. I'll just move the camera a bit. So that's about where the tarp was, and I'll come back when I've done a bit of weeding. And there we go. That's after. So I'm pretty pleased with that. Just so you can see, that's how much in the way of weeds came off, so quite a bit. That bucket's about a quarter full. I'm just going to try and do this bit here, which wasn't covered up. I have discovered that this still was very wet, and I've had to kind of, you can probably see there's the odd boot mark here and there, so I've had to kind of dig it over a bit, but I think I can get to most of the weeds this side just kneeling on the plank without actually having to step on the plot. So we'll see what happens, but I'd call that a reasonable success, I think. It certainly looks a hell of a lot better, and I'll put the tarp out over there. I might even try and dig that from the plank and just see how I get on, and if it's too wet I'll stop and put the tarp over it and do it another time. But yeah, pleased with that. So I've retreated to the shed, again because it's very windy, but just to say I managed to get this bit dug as well, or weeded rather, not dug, it's already been dug. So overall, a good result.